It's been more than a month since Kenyans took to the streets in protest at a new finance bill that proposed sweeping tax increases. The pressure has forced President William Ruto to withdraw the bill and dismiss his cabinet, but that has not appeased the protesters. In response to their defiance, police have since banned protests in Nairobi's city centre, citing the need to ensure public safety.
George Mboya is just in time for the action. The 24-year-old has attended every anti-government protest in Nairobi for the last 5 weeks and is still going. For him, this is personal.
I was exposed to injustices at a very early age. I was used to see dead bodies way back from my childhood, and even now growing up to become a young adult in this country and witnessing the amount of excessive force being used by the law enforcement officers, it's appalling.
Kenya's Commission on Human Rights says at least 50 people have been killed since the protest started. Despite the risk attending the demonstrations poses, Mboya returns every week, undeterred and focused.
I know it's easy to be abducted or it's easy to go missing, so I'll just find my group of people. We mobilize ourselves and we'll continue being on the street up until the government listens to our voices.
Shortly after our interview, we're targeted by the police. We were not too far from here, about 50 meters, where somebody had been injured, and police, noticing that a crowd was forming, lobbed at least 4 canisters of tear gas at us. All around us, you can see young people who are curious, who might be wanting to participate in the protests, but unable to because of the sheer force that police are using. Now, young people have gathered here today to say to the government that despite the concessions President Ruto made, they still want more.
We need empowerment. We need change. Most of our graduates have gone to school, but they're not employed. We're asking the government, when our president was campaigning, he said that we'll create jobs for the youths. But right now, you see all people on the streets, they're youths, but they're not having work.
There's just been piling frustration for a long time. So we're here today, I guess, because this particular government has been the feather on the camel's back, and we're just tired of it.
We can't go on like this. For how long? For how long? Yeah. So we need a solution to all this.
Mboya and the protesters out today say they will keep the pressure on the state until their demands for change are met.
Now, I spoke to protester and activist Shakira Wafula. I put it to her that the issues that are angering the protesters, such as corruption and impunity, are not new in Kenya.
It's not new, and for me, at a personal level, I fail to understand why as a country, we've been an independent country for 60 years. We've had the new constitution since 2010, and what we have to show for this independence in terms of development is very minuscule in comparison to what we are capable of as a country. And then looking at the corruption and impunity that goes on within the political class, for me, it was a point of being informed, getting the knowledge, and saying, okay, our time is now. People keep saying youth are the leaders of tomorrow, but we don't have tomorrow if we are not able to get a hold of our country at this moment. Right. So I felt it was important for us to push now when we have this information, we have the capacity. A lot of us youth right now are employed, so we have the time and the energy to push towards making our country better.
Right. And what would it take for you to stop the protest? Because the president has made some concessions. So what are you looking for?
To be honest, when I personally went out to the streets initially, it was purely to reject the finance bill. Before this, I was quite apolitical. I did not really engage so much with what is going on within the political scene. And I feel like if the government had a positive initial response to the protests, had they listened to us from the get-go, I don't think there would have been any further push towards anything else. But the fact that our our protests, which are constitutionally backed, were dealt with so much violence and brutality, and people lost their lives, and so many were injured. Others are being abducted. It actually was an eye-opener for many of us to realize the extent to which the corruption and the impunity and the evil nature of the people we have in our government. So if it wasn't for that negative response initially, I don't think we would have been able to push towards something else. Right. But now we are like, no, the political class has proven that they are not willing to concede to do anything to better our country. And as youth, we want to push towards making our country better. So if that means getting rid of the current political class and, trying to reclaim our country by putting up leaders who are going to serve the people rather than their own greed, I think that is what is going to be best for our country.
We've seen some images of you standing up to a policeman. Just wondering, are you not scared? I mean, you talked about what's happening to some protesters. Are you not scared yourself?
Yeah. To be honest, I am scared. But at that particular instant, my rage and frustration towards the government superseded all the fear that I had. And I felt I'm a person who, if I have an opinion, it's important for me to air it out. And I felt these police, who ideally should be siding with the protesters and protecting us, they came against us. So I felt they were on the wrong side. And it was important for me to voice out the frustration that was pushing us, so many youth, to come out on the streets to protest. So yeah, I was fearful, but the frustration that I feel in regards to the state of our country was superseded the fear that I had at that point.
Okay. Shakira Wafula, thank you for speaking to us.